Well, guys, we've made it through another entire week of this administration, and this week in particular, it was kind of weird, right? Because Donald Trump just straight up disappeared for 6 or 7 days. They were throwing weird bags of junk out of the White House window. And then when Donald Trump came back, he jumped on a call with Scott Jennings, and I kid you not, he sounded like a decrepit old man who had just awakened from a coma. Just very, very strange things going on this week, guys. But we have made it to another weekly roundup, which means Donald Trump has now been in office for 32 weeks. He's got 176 weeks left to go. And of course, if you are counting down the days, there are 1,231 days until the Mango Menace's term is supposed to come to an end. Now, of course, with all of these different health concerns arising, I'm just crossing my fingers that biology will catch up to him before that date actually rolls around. Now, of course, this is the part in the week where we gather up a whole bunch of different clips that don't necessarily touch on any particular topic, but it kind of gives us a way to catch up on anything we may have missed. And of course, we normally get to have a laugh or two as well. So let's just go ahead and jump into it, guys, because here we've got the Secretary of Labor saying a number of different things, just really trying to convince the American people that everybody is down with Trump's agenda. If you guys do appreciate my work and you want to support the show, please do remember to subscribe.
Well, I can tell you this, my door is always open. I talk to everybody. I don't want to disregard the American people. I was elected as the Labor Secretary for all Americans. But I can tell you, we are not hearing the anger. Sure, is there uncertainty sometimes? They want to make sure. Listen, I talk to business owners who are frustrated. What are they frustrated about? They're frustrated about in these interest rates.
Yeah, guys, the business owners, they're just frustrated over the interest rates. That's their main concern right now, guys. It's not all these tariffs that Donald Trump put in place unilaterally that is just completely destroying small businesses right now. No, they're concerned about the interest rates. And also, Lori Chavez DeRemer, or whatever the hell her name is, she was not elected. She was appointed as part of the cabinet by Donald Trump. So to say that she was elected to take care of all of these things for the American people, it doesn't make any sense. And of course, the most absurd claim that she is making here is that the American, I don't see any anger. The American people, no, they're not. They're relatively happy with Trump's agenda. Who believes this shit? We have been covering all of these different town halls over the month of August when Congress went home for recess. And the American people are pissed off right now. They do not like this big, despicable bill. They do not like their neighbors getting rounded up without any due process at all. They do not like this economic environment that Donald Trump has placed us in. What the hell is she talking about? The American people are pissed the fuck off right now. And Donald Trump is so scared of it that he's trying to rig the midterms in advance. That's how pissed off the American people are. So spare me your sob stories, your fantastical worldview that doesn't even come close to reality. Here you got Mark Wayne Mullen saying that, over there on Fox News, that's where you get the real news.
Well, look what they did with Kamala Harris's interview. I mean, you'd think they'd learned their lesson about editing after President Trump sued them and won. But at the same time, they don't. They got a narrative they draw. They're no longer reporting. That's why shows like CBS and their reporting on politics, no one takes it serious anymore. That's why Fox exists, because you can actually get news here. You can actually understand what's happening in the world of politics.
Yeah, guys, Donald Trump sued them for the editing and he won. So, of course, you can head over to Fox News and get your real news right here. You can really tell what's going on in the world of politics. Did this dumbass forget that it was Fox News who had to pay the largest defamation settlement in this country's history? What was it, $787 million? Because they wanted to carry Trump's lies about the 2020 election and how it was stolen? Is this guy serious right now? They had to pay almost $1 billion because they knowingly pushed lies about our election machines, our election systems, Dominion and Smartmatic and otherwise. They wanted to carry water for Donald Trump, and they felt so comfortable in doing so as they tried to retain their audience that they had to pay the biggest defamation suit in all of American history. Fox is not where you go to get the real news. in today's politics. That is probably one of the most absurd claims that you can make. And to claim that all of these other places like ABC and NBC and MSNBC and CNN, they're all biased, but Fox News gives it to you straight. I mean, I just don't know how dumb you have to be to say shit like this. It makes no sense, guys. Let's go ahead and move on to James Comer, where he's just screwing up on this Jeffrey Epstein thing over and over and over again.
Democrats on your committee say 97% of the Epstein-related documents from the U.S. Justice Department released to the American people last night were already public. What do you say to that?
Well, the 3% that weren't public, that's 3% more than Joe Biden released when he was president. Look.
Can you believe these people? So this whole Epstein thing kind of got kicked off because Pam Bondi got into office when Trump was elected, and she brought all of these MAGA influencers up to Capitol Hill. She gave them the white binders that said Epstein Phase 1. And what was in those binders? It was information that had already been made public a time ago, right? And so everybody was looking at this data, looking at this information saying, well, we already know all this shit. Well, I mean, when are we going to get the new stuff, guys? And then they tried to release new data under subpoena. They're trying to subpoena the White House. They're trying to get records released. And they released a new tranche of data. And after the analysis, it shows that 97% of it has already been made public. And instead of taking any accountability at all for that massive screw up, James Comer goes on national television and he says, well, that extra 3%, well, guys, let me tell you, that's more than the Biden administration released. So Trump administration doing pretty good right now. What? How are these the people who are running our government? How is it that James Comer, no matter which question he is asked, he's always got to tie it back to the Biden administration? Oh, the auto pen. Oh, all of these pardons that Biden issued, they're not even valid because of the auto pen. And we're releasing new Jeffrey Epstein data. We're releasing the Epstein files more than Biden did. Give me a break, people. These are an unserious people. They do not know how to govern. We are witnessing a cover-up in real time. And people like James Comer, they are just useful idiots to try to protect Donald Trump and all of these allegations of sexual abuse. That is what is actually going on here. Donald Trump is trying to distance himself as far as he can from this whole Jeffrey Epstein files nonsense. It is a damn shame, especially for the victims who finally were given a platform this week to speak out, to ask the government to come clean, to release the files, to have at least some accountability. They got that opportunity this week. And Donald Trump, people like James Comer, they turn around and they shit all over it, saying it's some sort of Democratic I mean, it is so disgusting. Man, these guys are protecting somebody who may have been involved in some of the worst things that Jeffrey Epstein had done. Just think about that. We are talking about the abuse of minors, the abuse of children. And we have a Republican Party that is so far up Donald Trump's ass that they are doing anything they can to try to run cover for him. What do you say to this? It is so damn disgusting. Let's go to move on to this clip where you've got Christina Bobb, who works inside the Trump administration, I'm pretty sure, having a real hard time understanding who is actually supposed to have the tariff authority.
The U.S. Court of Appeals in the Federal Circuit in Washington, D.C. voted 7-4 to stop all of President Trump's tariffs. What's your take on this?
I think it's political. I don't think it's an honest or accurate ruling on the law from the court, and I think it will be overturned at the Supreme Court. I mean, if the president doesn't have the authority to make and change tariffs, who does?
Congress does. Yeah, it's Congress who is given the authority to tax, to raise revenues or whatever the language may be. The tariff authority lies squarely at the feet of Congress. That is why the court is striking this down over and over and over and over and over again. Because Donald Trump tried to declare a national emergency to give himself the unilateral authority to implement these tariffs. These people are so damn stupid. Like, it is not even hard to understand that the power of the purse lies with Congress. And you got people like Christina Bobb, somebody who works for Donald Trump in the administration, saying, well, if President Trump can do it, guys, well, then who can? I've decided that many of these clips they're just making me speechless at this point. The incompetence is just through the roof. These people are an unserious people, and they are the people. These are the people running our government, guys. What do we do with it? What do we do with it? I mean, we got to laugh a little bit so we don't cry, right? Is that how the saying goes? Let's go ahead and move down to the Surgeon General of Florida. I believe that is his position, Joseph Ladapo, or whatever the hell his name is. Listen to this shit about childhood vaccines.
Every last one of them is wrong and drips with disdain and slavery. Okay? Who am I as a government or anyone else, or who am I as a man standing here now to tell you what you should put in your body?
This is a man of great authority in the state of Florida. Somebody who sits atop their healthcare systems or public health initiatives. And he's coming out, giving press conferences, speaking at a little conference, whatever the hell he's doing here, saying that, actually, guys, who am I to tell you that you should get your child vaccinated? Have we just forgotten? I mean, that must be the case, right? We must have just forgotten how effective vaccines have been at eradicating disease. It is probably the biggest unlock in public health. And now we've got dipshits like this going around and dissuading people from vaccinating their child. Hey, if you don't want to vaccinate your child, then pull them out of school, go off the grid, do whatever you need to do. But we used to understand in this country that public health is something we have to strive to meet, right? Something we have to work towards. And that means everybody needs to chip in and do their part by getting things like vaccines to make sure that the most vulnerable in our society are not put at extra risk for these deadly diseases. We used to understand that as a people. We used to understand that this was a team effort to make sure that we weren't dropping like flies like back in the olden days, right? I mean, it is so shameful that somebody in medicine, somebody in public health is coming out here and saying things like this. The polling around childhood vaccines right now, I think I just saw a poll that's around 51%, barely a majority. Now, don't quote me on that poll because I'll probably do a separate video on this, but I'm pretty sure I've got that number right. 51%, barely over a majority, think that childhood vaccines should be mandated. How are we supposed to move forward in a dangerous world when we can't even knock out the basics like childhood vaccines? How are we supposed to do that? These people are destroying our country. We have RFK, who is dismantling the CDC in real time. He is dismantling the vaccine safety boards. He's just dismantling everything based on this conspiratorial worldview that vaccines are somehow more harmful than they are helpful. Every single one of these people should be held accountable for what they are doing to public health. People like RFK Jr. should be arrested. He should be tried. I don't know if it's negligent. I don't know what the charge would be, but these people have got to be held accountable. Let's go to move on to this clip, which I found kind of funny. Did you guys watch RFK's disastrous hearing this week when he just could not seem to refrain from breathing heavily into the mic?
From the news media and from any other source. And obviously the easiest thing for our Democratic colleagues to do is to scare people because that is a powerful emotion, no matter what the facts may be.
Is this dude okay? I mean, what is going on here, folks? He sounds like Darth Vader. Like, what is going on? Is this dude even healthy enough to run the Health and Human Services Department? What is happening? And why doesn't he have the wherewithal to at least mute his fucking mic? One of his assistants or somebody who was sitting behind him, I think I saw, leaned into his ear and said, "Hey, man, you don't sound too good. Maybe you should, like, fix that or something." And he still continued to do it. Just breathing so... Settle down, RFK. Maybe you need to go get yourself checked out, buddy. Because whatever's going on here, it just ain't working. This dude does not sound healthy. And he's the guy who is supposed to be leading us through this revolution in public health. Make it make sense, people. Make it make sense. And for the last clip I want to show you guys, I have really come to like Joe Neguse. I think he is a very good communicator. He's just got really great communication skills. And every time I hear him give one of these addresses in front of Congress or on the House floor, or whatever it may be, I think he does an exceptional job of pointing out some of the pain points or some of the things that really matter to the American people.
Well, thank you, Mr. Speaker. First and foremost, facts matter. Under President Trump, Americans are paying more for their electricity than ever before. Ever before. Energy costs right now are higher than they have ever been. They're increasing at twice the rate of inflation. So, spare us lectures about energy costs as Republicans preside over an economy in which everything is getting more expensive. Healthcare more expensive, groceries more expensive, energy costs going through the roof. Seriously? Their answer to all of this? More coal. That's it. That's the sum total of the Republican response to the cost of living crisis in the United States of America today.
This is exactly correct. And it is something that we have to continue to hit on over and over and over again. We have to continue to make the case to the American people that Donald Trump is not fulfilling any of the promises that he made besides the authoritarian shit when it comes to helping out the American people. He thought he was going to come in and he was going to lower prices on day one. He said he was going to cut your energy bills in half. None of that is actually happening. In fact, everything that he is doing to our economy now, it is making it worse. Almost every single thing. He's going out there and killing renewable energy projects, solar projects, wind projects, some that are even almost complete. And guess what that does? If you don't have all of this energy getting soaked up from the sun or being produced by wind, that is energy that you're taking off of the market, which means there is less energy to go around. And everybody knows supply and demand. When you take away supply and your demand is still the same, your prices go up. Americans around the country have seen huge spikes in their energy bills, and that is only going to increase as Donald Trump continues his war against green and renewable energy. That is just one of the places where he is hurting the American people. All of these tariffs is another great example. Luckily, most Americans have not felt the brunt of these tariffs because many of these big corporations were able to kind of pre-game, were able to pre-order a lot of their inventory. But now those tariff costs, that inventory is all gone, which means the tariff costs are going to be pushed out to the consumer. You're going to be paying more for groceries. You're going to be paying more for your kid's birthday. You're going to be paying more for your car. I mean, it hasn't even fully begun. He is making life more difficult for the average American. And he's doing it because he has an infatuation with tariffs. He has no understanding what a trade deficit is. And he thinks he is the end-all be-all, the smartest man in the world when it comes to things around business. He is making life harder for your everyday American. The dollar no longer goes as far. Groceries are getting more expensive. What was it? The wholesale produce prices jumped 30 or 40% recently? I mean, what we are seeing is the biggest self-own in world history. This is a self-inflicted gunshot wound that all of the fault should be laid at the feet of Donald Trump. He was handed an economy that was an envy of the world. Now, does that mean everything was perfect? Of course not. But Donald Trump came in like a bull in a china shop, and he's just setting our country on fire. He's setting it ablaze. Every single place we look, things are getting worse for the American people. We have our immigrant community being rounded up without any due process, sometimes being sent to countries that they have never been to. I mean, everywhere we look, guys, he is making life harder. He's making your dollar weaker. It's completely the opposite of what he promised he was going to do. So we need to continue to make this point to the American people. And also, I think it is very important that we pair this with a policy agenda or some sort of democratic agenda that we can compare and contrast against what the Republicans are currently doing to this economy. It is so important that we continue to hammer on this over and over and over again. We need to remind the American people that this is what Donald Trump promised, and this is what he's delivering. Donald Trump is only looking out for Donald Trump and his billionaire buddies. That's it. He's making life harder for your everyday American. He is hurting most the people who put him back into office. So we need to continue to hit on this point, and most importantly, we have got to come up with a policy agenda that we can sell to the American people, that we can provide an aspirational vision for the future of this country. So those are the clips that I had for you guys this week. I know I say it every week, but I hope everybody is doing well out there. I hope everybody is staying safe out there. It is crazy times right now. We've got the National Guard deployed to Washington, D.C. He's threatening to deploy the National Guard and the military to Chicago. You've got J.B. Pritzker fighting back in his way. You've got Gavin Newsom taking Trump to task over and over and over again, which has been really delightful to see, but he's also challenging things in the court. Donald Trump's tariffs just got struck down by a court. His deployment of the National Guard in LA got struck down, or not necessarily struck down, but ruled illegal, blatantly illegal, willingly, just breaking the law, the judge said. So it's all give and take. There's some good things happening out there as far as rebuking the Trump administration, but there's also a whole bunch of horrible shit out there that we have to continue to push back against every single day. So I will leave it there for now, guys. Hope everybody is enjoying the last bit of this summer. And like I said, I hope everybody is staying safe out there. So if you guys got anything out of this video, please do remember to smash that like button and subscribe. Maybe share with a friend or two. I'd very much appreciate that. We've got to build something here on the left that pushes back against this MAGA media machine that is just laundering all of this terrible nonsense for the Trump administration day in and day out. So if you do like what I do here, please do remember to smash that subscribe button. Of course, that is free right here on YouTube. If you guys want to go a step above and beyond that and help me produce these videos, you can become a member right here on YouTube for as little as $3 a month. Or you can jump over to Substack at politiscape.substack.com, where you can have my content delivered right to your inbox every single day. No doom scrolling, no weird algorithm bullshit, just my content delivered straight to your inbox, and you can do that for as little as $5 a month over there, or you can sign up as a free subscriber as well. And I just want to remind everybody, while I've got you here, that I have joined the Unfuck America Tour. And basically what the Unfuck America Tour aims to do is create something that can rival the Turning Point USAs of the world. Charlie Kirk is a powerhouse when it comes to converting young voters into Republicans. You may hate him, you may dislike him, but he is a powerhouse for the Republican Party. And he is going around the country and poisoning young minds with some really heinous shit. So the Unfuck America Tour, we need help raising money so we can also travel around the country to not only register young voters, but like I said, we need to provide an aspirational vision for what this country can actually look like. We need to push back against the Charlie Kirks and the Turning Point USAs of the world. So that is what the Unfuck America Tour is aiming to do. Our next stop is Colorado State University on September 18th. And then the one I'm really excited about is AmFest in December. And like I said, guys, this has got to be a team effort. Every little bit counts. So if you are willing and you are able, hit that donate link in the description below. It'll take you to an Act Blue link that is under my name right here, Politiscape, and I would very, very much appreciate that. Like I said, guys, it's got to be a team effort, and we've got a ton of work to do before the 2026 midterms. So, hope you all have a good weekend. I'll see you next week.